Oh, what's up, guys? Welcome back to more Hawaiian Adventures with Yano Sauce. On today's segment, we're taking a look at an active volcano. That's correct. But before we do that, I got to show you the boring stuff first. So here's my commute from my Verbo all the way to the volcano. So I Googled online. We'll take a look at the viewing sites in the next frame, but everybody said, or the one website that I saw said, Devastation Trail is the place to go to look at the volcano. So that's where I went. And I got super paranoid about it being real busy. The same websites were saying, it's busy, go at off hours. They said the popular times were dusk to dusk? No, hold on. What's dusk? That's like sunset, right? No, they were like late afternoon to dusk, I guess. Into the night, though. I knew two things. I was there. I did not want to miss it, and I wanted to see it at night because I wanted to see the glow. So this was actually right after the manta ray dive. So I wanted my original plan was to leave from the manta ray dive and go all the way to the viewing area. And if you look at the map here, I don't have it marked, but if you see where Kona is, Kona. I think everybody just calls it Kona. At least that's what I did, and everybody knew what I was talking about. So from Kona all the way to Devastation Trail, as the crow flies, no crows are flying over the mountains. There's a bit of foreshadowing there. As the 737 flies, it's pretty straight line. But, I typed that into my GPS after the manta ray dive. It was like 10 o'clock, 10:30 maybe. And it said 2.5 hours because you got to drive all the way south down to Ocean View. And then that's where the second half of the leg picks up, where you can see on what is actually marked on the map here. That's one option. Or you could drive north, all the way north through all those towns to Hilo and then back down. Everything's out of the way on Hawaii. And I saw it was like 2.5 hours from Kona, and it was already 11 o'clock or something, and I was pretty tired at this point, and I just said, no, I can't do it. So at that point, I decided to drive back to Ocean View, which, was an hour and 10 minutes or whatever from Kona. I said, I'm going to crash for a little bit, and then I'm going to wake up and go. So that's what I did. I think I got back, around midnight or whatever. I slept till about 3 a.m. I got up at 3 a.m. because I was paranoid about missing the volcano. I did not want to come all the way to Hawaii and not see the volcano. I specifically picked the Big Island because I wanted to see some lava. Otherwise, I probably would have gone with Kauai. But that's what happened. So I got up at 3 a.m. I drove all the way over there. And there was exactly one other car in the parking lot when I got there around 4:30. I was walking to the site. That one guy passed me, and I was by myself at the viewing area it felt like about 30 minutes at least. And that was a pretty magical experience. But anyway, let's move on. So here, I just wanted to show, the trek to the viewing area that I chose, Devastation Trail. Online said that was the best place to go to watch. And here is the viewing points. This is zoomed in on the crater. What does it say? Kīlauea, maybe? So you can see in the bottom right, you parked at 3. I think that's 3. And then it was about a mile walk down a road. So there's actually a road here, but they closed it. And so there's a parking lot at Devastation Trail, and you walk, a mile, then take a right, kind of go off the road, and there it is. And it was just fabulous. It was fabulous. I don't know. I think I've mentioned in past videos how Hawaii is very dark. At least as soon as you get outside of the city, there's no street lights anywhere. So I parked in this parking lot. It was pitch black. I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. I did have a flashlight, Thanks to my bro for getting me that for Christmas. And I needed it. This was high time for a flashlight. But yeah, as soon as I got out of my car, I looked up and the sky was glowing orange. And there were some clouds there to kind of catch that reflection. It wasn't super cloudy that night. In fact, I saw tons of stars by the time I got there. But when I got out of the car, it just, you looked up and you could see the sky glowing orange. And that was when I knew I was in for something magical. That blew my socks off right away because I've never seen anything like that. And it was very faint, but you could see it. I tried taking a picture of it in my very poor quality cell phone camera. It was just black. But as I got closer, it got brighter and brighter, and I actually got some pretty good pictures on my cell phone, I think. But anyway, let's take a look at this. So let's see. So this is this is the first picture I took marking the trail. So it was pitch black, and I started walking down the wrong trail, and they had a sign. In fact, I didn't take a picture of it, but I thought I was going the right direction. And I walked to a big sign that said, "Turn around. If you're looking for the eruption, it's not this way." Thank goodness for that. So I turned around and kind of looked on the map and and kind of got my bearings and was like, "Oh yeah, I think it's over this direction." And I finally found it. And this was the first mark for it. So eruption straight ahead. And they also want you to know, do not approach nay, which I guess are the geese. What does that say? Distance makes the heart grow fonder. There you go. Who knew? I don't think anyone knew that's what the geese were thinking, but I guess the geese like you to stay 4 car lengths or 60 feet away from them. So keep that in mind. I saw no geese whatsoever on this trip. They could have been walking, right beside me. I probably wouldn't have known unless I shone my light on them. But moving on. There it is. Look at that. I know it's not a very impressive picture, but when you're looking at that live and you've never seen something like that before, the anticipation is building. Let me tell you, the adrenaline, the anticipation, you are that close to looking at a live volcano. It's fantastic. If you watched my last video with the manta ray dives, I really built this video up at the end, and I'm sorry to say it's not that impressive. Blame the Hawaiian Park Service. They didn't let me get that close. And, the GoPro is great for a lot of things, but it is not good for distance viewing. In fact, it's got a whole fisheye thing to it, which makes things appear even further away. But, like with everything else, you can get online and look at way better pictures, but let's see what's next. Yeah, and I did peek at these. It's a series of blurry GoPro videos, or GoPro pictures. I've complained about the GoPro picture quality for a very long time, and it just doesn't do that good. But so this was the turn off the road. If you remember the map that I showed in the second frame, go back to it if you want. But it was kind of down the street. We're walking down the street, and then there was this big marker on the road, eruption to the right. So, and you can see it really getting brighter there in the top right corner. And there's another picture of the glow getting brighter. At this point, my cell phone was doing the job in terms of the pictures. Getting ever so closer. Look at that. I mean, can you imagine being an ancient person looking at this? I mean, we at least have some scientific backing, what's happening here, and this just must have been absolutely magical to them. Absolutely magical. And here we go. Here's their warnings. Keep in mind, at this point, I'd already passed the guy who had already been there. So I was the only person in the entire park and the best viewing spot for the entire volcano right here. Only one. I was very tempted to get on the walls, to run towards the dangerous cliffs, to think about nobody but myself. No, I did not want to scream. I didn't want to hear it. So I did take number 3 to heart. But and look at that. First blurry picture of the whole thing. Look at that. Man. It just, that one, okay, that one cleared up a little bit. Yeah, I just stood there just staring. It's like man, I don't know. I told people this. This is the second most incredible thing that I've ever witnessed. Probably overall, but certainly of the natural Earth. Number one, tier 1A is totality during a solar eclipse. One of those swept over the Midwest. Geez, I don't know, 3-4 years ago now. And that was just incredible. I've never, ever seen anything like that. I mean, you look at pictures of, totality, and, you can see it, but seeing it in person, there's a certain glow to it that just is not captured in the pictures. Not captured in the pictures. And I looked up, and it looked like the power of God descending out of the heavens. I don't know how else to describe it. It was so incredible. And that's the one thing that was more impressive than looking at this volcano. And I think what's next is a video. The video is not that impressive. I'm going to shut up in case there's some sounds, because you could definitely hear it from where I was sitting or standing. They're probably not going to get picked up on the GoPro, but anyway, here we go. It's just incredible. So this is a video taken from my cell phone. It's a little zoomed in, a little closer zoomed in, but it's still not that impressive. But I'll talk during this one. If I think you probably got enough sound from the last one. It's mostly wind anyway. But when I was there, it definitely had a sound to it that I don't think was captured that well. But so you see that bright light to the left. That was just a geyser. It was a geyser of molten rock. My big regret was showing up here and not having binoculars, and thank goodness somebody showed up who did have binoculars, and they let me get it. He actually offered them to me. I didn't even ask. He was like, "Hey, you want to take a look at these binoculars?" And I was like, "Yes, please." So I got a good probably 2-3 minute look through the binoculars, and just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Man, I was tempted to jump the rope when nobody was there. But that bright spot to the left, I definitely saw through the binoculars, was a geyser of molten rock. And there was a few more. I think I saw 3 geysers, essentially. And, it wasn't just the volcano. So, people started showing up, and somebody just kind of said out of the, on the side, "Oh, there's a shooting star." So I looked up, and wow, this was like one of the few days where it wasn't cloudy. And, man, yeah, I saw shooting stars. I saw 5, I think it was 5 at least 4 satellites, just little blips of light scooting through the sky. No, it's just incredible. It's just an incredible experience. Hawaii is one of the most incredible places in the entire world. Go. You should definitely go. And in fact, so one thing I'm going to do is, since my videos are from so far away, the Hawaii National Parks, they've set up, webcams like Audubon Society does for bird nests. They've set up webcam for the erupting volcano. And I will put a link to that in the description. But I checked it tonight. Tonight being, what is that? February 25th. And it's like done. You check their website and let's see if I can read this real quick. The current eruption at Kilauea volcano within the crater has changed significantly since it began on January 5th. Although lava may be visible from many areas and overlooks surrounding places within the national park, conditions can change at any time. Basically, they said it's done erupting, so far as they know. And if you look at the live webcam, this is at night. It's black. It's totally black, and it's just so I just totally lucked out being there when I was. Oh yeah, one thing I meant to mention. I wish I'd gone to another viewing site. If you go back to the second frame I showed, I was at Devastation Trail, so there's 2 other viewing sites. So Devastation Trail looks to be about in the middle in terms of distance. I wish I'd gone to Kilauea Overlook. The one on the left, it says it's only 300 meters away. But apparently there might be some blockage there. So I went to Devastation Trail because I read online that was the best place to go. But I do wish I'd just, I was already there. I should have just driven around the mountain, the extra 10 minutes or whatever, and taken a look at the other site. But anyway, just incredible. Like I said, I put a link to the live camera feed in the description, but just a surreal experience to look at the earth being created. That's essentially what it was. You're looking at the creation of the earth. It just blew my socks off. Absolutely incredible. I don't know how else to describe it, but yeah, that's it for this. I think next up, we got some whale watching. I drove home from this. I think I stayed there at least an hour. Probably, I think it was an hour and a half, actually. I could check the timestamps on some of my text messages, but I think I stayed there about an hour and a half, and, you got to leave eventually. I drove home, and I went to sleep. I was tired. So I slept until, 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Woke up, like, what am I going to do today? So whale watching got canceled in Maui, so I said, let's do some whale watching. So I jammed in a whale watching session. Yeah, that's up next. We definitely saw some whales. I have not checked the footage yet. They're going to be far away. Nature of the GoPro, but we saw them, and there's laws about how far away you got to stay anyway. So nothing super close. Didn't breach. Saw no breaches, but whale watching is up next, and I hope to see you there.